Hi everyone, I'm here with my series. What I said about the dissection of anatomy. I would cover all the questions for all the anatomy questions which I have said. Now, basic things I would start from the bones and its development, structure, growth, and classification of bone. Now, how is bone developed? First, you should know about the embryology. How the does the layers form? How does the ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, and all the layers are formed? And then from which part of the mesoderm does this bone form? Now, I'm not going into deep because in the exam vive it's a viva exam, so they won't expect in everything in detail. They would ask only the main points. So I would start from the development of bone. Here is the longitudinal view and here is a transverse view. Okay, now first thing important is mesenchymal condensation, then cartilage is formed. Okay, and then bone is formed. This is called endochondral ossification. Okay, there are two types of ossification. One is intramembranous and one is endochondral. Now this is endochondral ossification. Now this is the process of ossification. There are two centers. There are two ossification center. One is the primary center of ossification and one is the secondary center of ossification. Now the structures which are formed in the bone are epiphysis. Okay, now this growth plate of epiphyseal plate, later it develops to elongate the bone. Okay, then metaphysis, diaphysis, again the metaphysis. This is the epiphyseal plate and epiphysis. Now here it is a transverse view. This is the longitudinal and this was the transverse view. How does the bone look? Now we would say about the bone, like bone tissue of the heart skeleton, which consists of the vertebral column, which is the spine, the breastbone, the rib, the bone of the trunk. Breastbone means the sternum, and the skull, the bones of the upper limb and the lower limb and its extremities. The skeleton carries out function of support, movement, resilience, protection, and also serve as a depot for various salt. Now, how many bones are there? 206 bones, in which 36 are unpaired and which 85 are paired bones. Okay. The mass of the skeleton, like living skeleton, is 11% of the total body weight of for newborn and in 9 to 18% for a child of other ages. And in adults, this correlation state at approximately 20% throughout the whole life. Okay, and during old age the mass of the skeleton decreases. Now classification of the bones. Classification of the bones, like basic three principles are there. First is the shape, structure, and its development. Okay, shape, structure, and development. According to it, the bones are differentiated into long bone, which is a tubular bone. Now in this category, which bones would come? Long bone means what? Upper limb, lower limb. In that, what? Humerus, radius, ulna, tibia, femur, fibula. Okay. Short and spongy bone, flat bone, irregular, pneumatic bone. Pneumatic bone is the ethmoid bone. Flat bone would be the skull bone, and irregular would be the cervical, like vertebral bone. Flat bone would be the scapular bone, and short bone would be the carpal bone. Now we would see the diagram also. See, as I said, this is the ethmoid bone, okay, which is a pneumatized bone. This is the long bone, okay, and this is the flat bone scapula. This is the short spongy bone, carpals, and tarsals also, and this is the vertebrae, okay, which is the irregular bone. Now, the last part is the structural and chemical composition of bone. Bones have a complex structure and chemical composition. Like in living organisms, bones are 50% of water, 28% of the organic substances, and 21% of the inorganic material. The inorganic substances are the compounds of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and other elements. Now, macerated bones consist by 2 by 3 of inorganic material and 1/3 of organic material called as osin. Now for this question, first question, this short answer is enough, as I know, but except this, you cannot depend on this only. Except this, before studying this, you should know at least the basic things. Okay, after after knowing the basic things then only you would see this video, because it would help to memorize, like recall the memory. Okay, and your concept would be also clear that what is needed for the output of the answer for the viva questions. Now the second video would be on the vertebrae. There is a question question on vertebrae, its development structure. Actually I have already posted all the vertebrae, so I would tell just the outline and the main things of the vertebrae, and below that video which I am going to post about vertebrae, I would put the link of each and every vertebrae. So please first watch all the vertebrae videos, then only come to that video so you could correlate each and everything. Thank you.